Hurricane Ian wreaked havoc around Florida and South Carolina as a Category 4 storm with wind speeds reaching as fast as 155 miles an hour. And the devastation to homes, businesses, and families' livelihoods is seriously hard to even wrap your head around if you don't live out there. This storm tied for the 5th strongest hurricane to make landfall in the United States, causing possibly the worst ever recorded amount of destruction to property. One of the many homes impacted by Hurricane Ian was the kind of infamous mega mansion near Orlando called the Versailles Mansion. This 90,000 square foot estate that was finally nearing completion suffered around $10 million in total damages from the storm, with the owner Jackie Segal saying that the flooding and water damage will be yet another construction setback for this home that has been in the process of being built since 2004. I was on the fence about making this video to begin with because I do not want to take away from the people who have literally lost their lives, their businesses, and their homes as a result of this storm. But I've been meaning to do a video on this Versailles Mansion for a while now, and with the project hitting headlines again this past week, the timing just kind of made sense. In today's episode, let's talk about the insane, over-the-top, slightly obnoxious Versailles Mansion in Orlando, Florida. Starting with the location, this home is sitting at 6121 Kearstone Lane in a private community just southwest of Orlando. And according to an old listing description, the home is considered one of the largest modern-day palaces under construction in America, with over 90,000 square feet under one roof. Versailles Mansion is sitting on a 10-acre lot with about 1,200 feet of shoreline on Lake Butler. And when you zoom out and you look at exactly where this property is within the state of Florida, it's crazy to think that it suffered so much damage when it sits about as far inland as you can get. You're gonna notice throughout this video that there aren't any photos or video of this house actually completed, and there's a good reason for that. The Versailles Mansion has literally been under construction for the past 18 years, and even when the hurricane hit, they were still around a year away from their supposed completion date. This all started back in 2003 when Jackie and David Segal bought this home for $4,765,000. Then they started construction right away on their dream home that would be loaded with every bell and whistle that you can imagine. I'm gonna rattle off some features in this property. Hold on tight, the list is long and it is insane. So the Versailles Mansion has 13 bedrooms, 23 bathrooms, a 35-car garage, a 150-person dining room, a ballroom, a British-style pub, a 2-story movie theater with a private terrace, a wine cellar and a wine tasting room, an exotic fish aquarium, 5 swimming pools, 10 kitchens, a baseball field, 2 tennis courts, a bowling alley, a video arcade, and of course, every room is oversized. The master closet alone is bigger than the average home in America at 4,000 square feet. I'm a little out of breath after that, and yes, you heard that right. The master closet alone in this house is over 4,000 square feet. What? Building a house this size is going to take years regardless, just because of how big it is, where it's located, and all of those crazy features. But quite possibly the biggest setback was when the owner, David Segal's timeshare company, nearly went bankrupt in the 2008 crash, a moment that forced him to halt construction on his Versailles Mansion in Orlando for years. Eventually, Segal got his company back on track. His net worth nowadays is estimated to be around $500 million, and his Versailles home has been back under construction pretty consistently since just a few years after the 2008 crash. Back then, the Segals actually briefly tried to unload the property for $75 million. This was around 2011, but after no buyers came forward, they resumed construction. At 90,000 square feet, this house is right around the same size as an average size Walmart. And of course, a project this dramatic caught the attention of TV producers because in 2012, a documentary about the project called Queen of Versailles was produced by Lauren Greenfield. The film follows Jackie and David Segal as they carry on with the build of this insane home. Now, I'm not afraid to go into research mode. I usually put hours and hours worth of research into these videos that I'm putting out here on the channel, but I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't able to watch more than a couple of clips from that documentary from 2012. It's pretty cringy. Maybe you guys will be into it though, or if you want to catch a more current version of what's going on with the house, there's actually another short series film there called Queen of Versailles Reigns Again. This one also focuses on the whole dramatic process of the Seagal family working on this crazy project. But don't get your hopes up on this series either. IMDb rated it a 4.7 out of 10. So this home has been in construction since 2004. There have been a few setbacks along the way, including the 2008 crash and then again when the pandemic hit. But since the end of the pandemic, construction at Versailles Mansion has been pretty much full steam ahead up until Hurricane Ian. Now I'm sure you guys have seen the headlines about the intensity of this hurricane, but like I mentioned earlier, the storm pushed as far inland as this house. It dropped over 20 inches of rain even on the central parts of the state of Florida. Millions of people throughout Florida lost power, evacuations were ordered, search and rescue persisted as teams checked homes for victims of the hurricane. And amidst this chaos, the Versailles Mansion had water coming in on it from every direction, causing millions of dollars in damages. Jackie Seagal initially posted some of the footage of the damage on her Instagram account, but that's since been taken down. But TMZ still has the clip up, and we can see in this video somebody following Jackie around the house, which has several floors flooded with at least a few inches of water. The back patio also has basically been turned into a lake itself, and then some ceilings inside are caving in due to roof damages, with pieces of the newly installed ceiling detail just falling all over the floor. Some of that detail you saw in the ceilings, this falling off, was a big source of this $10 million worth of damages. Believe it or not, some of that molding is actually made out of 24 karat gold. Anyways, pumping all the water out alone is costing the family around $100,000, a figure that's hard to believe, but remember, this house is the size of a Walmart. And when looking at some of the more recent exterior photos of this house, it's honestly kind of hard to understand why the roof leaked so badly. I mean, I know this was a hurricane, but the roof was a brand new finished roof. I don't know how it possibly could have suffered so many leaking points. If any of you guys out there are roofers, let me know what you think. I'm sure the volume of rain plays a pretty big part here, but maybe the contractor's also partially to blame. I don't know. It's not 100% clear where the Seagals live nowadays as they wait for this house to be completed, but they did buy a $5 million waterfront home in North Palm Beach earlier this year. A much more modest place too, at only 6,800 square feet. This one's got 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. North Palm Beach is about 2.5 hours away from their Versailles mansion though, so hard telling if they bought the Palm Beach home to live in or just as another trophy property. There has been plenty of controversy surrounding the Seagals over the years. David Seagal's company, Westgate Resorts, is a timeshare company. They employ a ton of people and reportedly do billions of dollars in revenue. But a few times through this company, he has been engaged in some political controversy that's had people pretty riled up. Plus, on top of that, the documentary that made this family famous to begin with was something that David Seagal was actually offended by. So much so that he filed a lawsuit saying that the film was defamatory to him and his company. A lawsuit which, by the way, he did not win. Regarding the latest damages to the Versailles Mansion, this is something that possibly could be covered under their insurance, not that they need the money anyway. But with this recent setback, it makes me wonder if we're going to be sitting here 5 years from now, still looking at this Versailles Mansion that is almost complete. My heart goes out to all of the people who have been horribly impacted by Hurricane Ian. I hope that everybody is able to rebuild and go back to normal soon. That's all I've got for you guys this episode though. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.